Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Tech with Sach. My name is Sachin, a Google developer expert, and this is the continuation and part 2 of the Codelab series on how to build conversational actions for the Google Assistant. If you're new to the channel, make sure to click the subscribe button as well as the bell icon so that you can be notified for future videos. Before we get started, I highly recommend that you check out Codelab 1 as well as complete that specific Codelab before starting this one. In this specific Codelab, you will learn how to collect data from the user and depending on that value, modify the conversational prompts. You'll also learn how to respond with follow-up questions to further the conversation. And finally, you'll also learn how to create a game loop so a user can interact with your action again. Let's get started. In the first Codelab, we created a simple conversational action with a single scene called start. Within the start scene, we added a simple prompt with suggestions. We also added custom intents, yes and no, based on those suggestions, where we finally give out a prompt response which pretty much ends the conversation. So in this Codelab, let's extend our actions capabilities by adding another scene called fortune. So now instead of the yes intent transitioning to the end of the conversation, it will transition to this new scene called fortune. Before we proceed further, let's define the conversational logic for the fortune scene. You will configure your fortune scene to ask the user, what do you choose to help you on your quest? A dragon, a translator, or a compass? So you can use a capability called slot filling to gather the necessary information from the user before proceeding. So let's also understand some key terms here. First is slot filling. Slot filling is a function of conversational logic that allows you to collect a set of values or slots from the user through natural back and forth conversation without having to create multiple intents. So what are slots? Slots are data that you want to extract from the user input. So based on what we are planning to achieve here, our action provides fortunes for 3 aids: a dragon, translator, and compass. To configure your action to identify these 3 options in a user's input, we must create a new type. So let's go ahead and create a new type called available options. You can do this by going to the left navigation menu and click on types. Click the plus sign and type available options and press enter. Click on available options to open the options. Now, types are configured as key value pairs of information where the key is the name of the type and the values are synonyms for that key. So if you're familiar with Dialogflow, types are very similar to entities in Dialogflow. They allow you to configure the assistant NLU to extract structured data from users' input. So let's go ahead and add 3 options the user can choose from. In the add entry section, add a new entry for dragon. This creates a key called dragon. We can also add more values or synonyms like hydra and lizard to the dragon key. In the same way, add the key values for translator and compass as well, and finally click on save. By doing this, our action now understands that the available options are dragon, translator, and compass, and it can also recognize its synonyms. Now that we have defined our types, let's configure slot filling for our fortune scene. In the left navigation, under Scenes, click Fortune. In the fortune scene, click the plus icon for slot filling. On the right, in the Enter Slot Name text box, add chosen options as the slot name. In the Select Type dropdown, select the available options as the slot type. Select this slot as required. This will make sure that the action will only continue once this slot is filled or the value provided by the user is extracted. Finally, select Send Prompts and add the following message and suggestion chips. We have now added the available options type to the slot, which tells our action the information we need to gather from the user, in this case, the choice of aid, before proceeding. We also configured a prompt within the slot, which is added to the prompt queue when the user reaches the slot filling stage of the scene. Also note that when we name the slot chosen options, the customized slot value field is updated with the same name. sessions.params.chosenOptions. You can access this parameter by the name in the Actions Builder and in your fulfillment via the client library. Now that our slot filling is configured, let's look at conditions. Notice that when you add a slot, the condition scene.slot.status equal to final is automatically added to the condition list. Conditions basically lets you check session, user, or a slot data for a condition to be met. So in this case, the condition scene.slots.status equal to final checks for the slot filling to be complete. When all the slots are filled, the condition can trigger a webhook, transition to a new scene, or add prompts to the prompt queue. So in this case, we add a prompt once the condition is met. Finally, click Save. Before we proceed for testing, now that we have added slots and prompts under the fortune scene, let's go back to the start scene and make sure that the send prompts section is unchecked. So now from the start scene, it would automatically transition to the fortune scene when there is the yes intent matched, and based on that, we will go through the conditions based on the slot filling. Once the slots are filled and the condition is met, the final prompt is relayed back to the user. So let's go ahead and test our action up till this point.
Let's get the test version of my test app.
What do you choose to help you on your quest? A dragon, a translator, or a compass?
As you can see, we get to see our 3 suggestions. And once you choose dragon, it's automatically identified and pick the value dragon. Let's try that one more time.
Let's get the test version of my test app.
A wondrous greeting, adventurer. Welcome back to the mythical land of Gryffinberg. Before you continue on your quest, would you like your fortune told? What do you choose to help you on your quest? A dragon, a translator, or a compass?
So which represents dragon in this case based on the types that we have configured.
You picked dragon.
As you can see, that it clearly identifies that lizard is of type dragon, and then the response is relayed back. You can also see this information directly on the right side where the event logs. Even though the value is lizard, it's resolved back to dragon. Now let's take this a step forward and add conditions for each option the user can choose and add a custom prompt for each condition. So go back to the fortune scene and click on the condition and add a new condition to it as shown. Select the send prompt and update the response based on the dragon fortune. Finally, click Save. Now, when a user says dragon or something that sounds similar, your action provides a fortune based on that selection. Once that is done, let's add similar conditions for other fortune suggestions as well. Let's start with translator, add a new condition for that fortune scene, and do the same for compass as well.
Getting the test version of my test app.
A wondrous greeting, adventurer. Welcome back to the mythical land of Gryffinberg. What do you choose to help you on your quest? A dragon, a translator, or a compass? The people of Gryffinberg will be awestruck by the beauty and power of the ancient dragon. Much to your dismay, the townspeople fall into dispute over who will receive the honor of riding the dragon first. You return home from your quest without everlasting glory or a dragon.
As you can see, we should now receive the appropriate fortune for the different options that we select. Let us now learn how to add a game loop. Let's configure our action so that the user can select another option and hear a different fortune after making a selection. This change is similar to a "Do you want to play again?" message at the end of a game. To build this loop, we can reuse the previously created yes and no intents and add them to the new scene called again. Create a new scene called again and add a prompt that asks the user if they would like to select a different option. Click Save. So as per the conversational flow, after the user receives the fortune, the conversation needs to transition to a new scene. In this case, it's the again scene. Click on the fortune scene. Click on the first condition to open the options window. Scroll down and select again under transition and click save. Repeat the same for the other conditions as well. At this point, your action should provide the following prompt to the user after they receive their fortune, which is, "That is what I see for you. Would you like to choose a different option and explore another future?"
A dragon, a translator, or the people of Gryffinberg will be awestruck by the beauty and power of the ancient dragon. Much to your dismay, the townspeople fall into dispute over who will receive the honor of riding the dragon first. You return home from your quest without everlasting glory or a dragon. That is what I see for you. Would you like to choose a different option and explore another future?
As you can see, you should now receive the fortune for the dragon option and the again
Sorry,
prompt.
I didn't catch that. Can you try again?
The reason we are getting this message is because we don't have intents associated to handle that request. So you add the yes and no intents to the again scene, so your action understands if the user wants to choose a new option or not. You also add the appropriate transitions for the yes and no intents. The yes intent transitions to the fortune scene, while the no intent transitions to the system scene and conversation. Also make sure to select the send prompt and add a prompt when the user clicks no and ends the conversation.
Getting the test version of my test app.
A wondrous greeting, adventurer. Welcome back to the mythical. What do you choose to help you? The people of Gryffinberg will be awestruck by the beauty and power of the ancient dragon. Much to your dismay, the townspeople. What do you choose to help you on your quest? A dragon, a translator, or a compass? With the help of the translator, the rival factions in Gryffinberg are finally able to communicate with each other and resolve their disputes. You will complete your quest to restore peace in the town. The translator will be used on many subsequent journeys across the earth. After its work is done, it retires honorably to a premier location in the Gryffinberg History Museum. That is what I see for you. Would you like to choose a different option and explore another future? It pleases me that you are satisfied with your choice. Best of luck on your quest. Farewell.
Your action should now understand if the user wants to choose a new option or end the conversation. We have now built the main path that most users take in our action. However, the user could respond to the prompt from the fortune scene with a choice that is not one of the provided options. So let's configure our action to understand when a user chooses magic, money, horse, or phone, and to reprompt the user to select from one of the original 3 choices when they choose one of these options. To configure this logic, we need to create a new type that contains these other choices and then a new intent, other underscore option, that is matched when a user says one of these options. We also need to annotate training phrases within the other option intent to identify and extract intent parameters. Let's understand what are intent parameters. Intent parameters are specific words or phrases that you want to extract from user input. So to create a parameter, you annotate training phrases within an intent. And annotation is the process of specifying types that you want to extract from training phrases. We now have an intent, other option, that can handle a user specifying an option that isn't one of the original options. So let's add this to the fortune scene. Click on the fortune scene, click on the plus sign next to the custom intent handling, and select other underscore option from the intent drop-down menu. Select send prompts and add the following prompt. The expression intent.parameters.chosen unavailable option refers to the intent parameter object. and intent params dot chosen unavailable options dot original refers to that object's value. So over here, the original property refers to the raw input the user specifies. So when a user says an option listed in the unavailable options type during the fortune scene, the other underscore option intent is matched and adds a prompt to the prompt queue. Since there is no transition specified, the scene execution loop continues by re-evaluating the condition stage. The chosen option slot then adds its prompt to the prompt queue, and the prompt queue is then delivered to the user. So let's go ahead and test our action. Our action should now respond appropriately when a user selects one of the options listed in the unavailable options type and specify which aid the user selected. Our action should then reprompt the user to pick one of the original choices like the dragon, translator, or compass.
I have seen the future and a magic will not aid you on your journey. What do you choose to help you on your quest, a dragon, a translator, or a compass?
You may also notice that the prompt doesn't sound correct when the user chooses magic because of the letter A article placed before it. So let's learn how to handle this scenario. To handle this scenario where the letter A should be placed before the appropriate choices from the unavailable options type, we can configure an event handler in our fulfillment logic to check if the option the user chooses needs an A before it. First, we need to configure our action to call the handler in the console. So go back to the fortune scene under custom intent handling, click when other option is matched to open the window. Clear send prompts, select call your webhook and enter unavailable option into the text box for your event handler. Now that we have configured our action to call the unavailable options event handler, we can update the handler in our fulfillment and deploy it. Click webhook in the left navigation and add the following code under the greetings handler. So let's understand the code here. The unavailable options handler does the following. It gets the options data from the conversation object and assigns option to the original property, which is the raw input from the user. It also assigns options key to the resolved property, which is the key for the unavailable options type. It also checks if the option key is one of the options that needs an A. If it is, constructs a message with an added A. And finally, it adds a message via the conversation.addMessage. Our action should now adjust the prompt based on whether the user's choice from the unavailable options type requires an A article before it. So let's go ahead and save and deploy our fulfillment. Let's go ahead and test our final action.
Let's get the test version of my test app.
What do you choose to help you on your quest, a dragon, a translator, or a compass?
Over here, we can input magic as the option and see if our event handler handles the construction of the prompt appropriately. As per our logic, only horse and phone should receive the letter A before it, while magic choice should not have the article A before it.
I have seen the future and magic will not aid you on your journey. What do you choose to help you on your quest, a dragon, a translator, or a compass?
As you can see from the prompt, our prompt does not have the letter A before the magic keyword. So our event handler is working properly.
I have seen the future and a horse will not aid you on your journey. What do you choose to help you on your quest, a dragon, a translator, or a compass? The people of Gryffinberg will be awestruck by the beauty and power of the ancient dragon. Much to your dismay, the townspeople fall into dispute over who will receive the honor. It pleases me that you are satisfied with your choice. Best of luck on your quest. Farewell.
With that, we have successfully built a comprehensive conversational action and also learned the following. We learned how to develop conversational actions using the Node.js fulfillment library, how to use slots to gather data from the user, how to use conditions to add logic to the scene, how to add a game loop, finally, how to add a supportive path for our conversational actions. This completes the Codelab 2 of the tutorial series on how to build conversational actions for the Google Assistant. In the next video, we'll learn some more interesting and advanced concepts for building conversational actions. Feel free to leave your comments below, and if you did find this video useful, make sure to like, subscribe, and also hit the bell icon so you can be notified for future videos and upcoming live streams to join the conversation. Looking forward to interacting with you all. Once again, my name is Sachin. Hope you all enjoyed this video and see you all in the next one.